And now, your favorite dungeon master, TwitchCon, please welcome Mark Humes.
Welcome, my children. Oh, I can't see a thing in those, so that's coming off straight away. And there we go, a proper D&D nerd for you. Welcome, adventurers old and new. My name is Mark Humes. I am the Dungeon Master for High Rollers, a UK Dungeons & Dragons stream that have been telling stories on Twitch for over 5 years now. And we're very excited to be here with all of you live in Amsterdam, and of course, everyone watching at home for TwitchCon as well. Now, if you don't know a thing about Dungeons or Dragons, or you haven't heard of us before, please don't worry. Rather than trying to introduce you to a detailed rules of D&D or explain our epic 4-year-long ongoing story, we're going to be showing you guys something brand new that we've been working on. We're going to be showing you a glimpse at a fantasy world of our next big adventure, a brand new campaign starting in 2023. The next 90 minutes is going to be take you and the players on an adventure that will introduce you to Kelscariss, the city of dragons, the heart of the Dragon Empire of Ilmera. And hopefully, we can show you some of the basics of how to play D&D 2. So, think of this as a pre-title sequence in a movie, a glimpse into this new world and what you might find there. But before I go into my big lore speech to explain this new world, you guys should meet the players for today's adventure. So, to begin with, 2 of the regular High Rollers party, we have Katie Morrison and Tom Hazel. A round of applause. Lovely. Oh, here they come. Oh, look at this. Armed to the teeth.
Professional.
Yes, everything looks good. Everything looks fine.
Yeah? Is this good?
Yes.
Excellent.
This will do. That statue looks otherworldly, though.
Oh, yeah, our very famous emperor, sort of knight commander, I think. Yeah, you're going to take that out.
Sorry about my sword, everybody.
Next, our very first special guest for the show, roleplay streamer and voice actor, Maya, as well. Please, welcome to the stage. Oh, very regal. Fantastic. Welcome, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. More of the High Rollers D&D crew next. We have Rhiannon Gower and Chris Trott. What is this beast that appears? Oh, and a gentleman as well.
All right, darling.
Hello, mate, thank you. And last, but by no means least, our second special guest, Minecraft legend, Scott Major. It's Major. Oh, in the traditional garb of a cleric, I see. Legs on display. I love it. Brilliant. Well, it's very exciting to have you all here. But before we get into a couple of things, there's some things I need to let the lovely folks in chat and here in Amsterdam know that they can do to help out in today's game. Currently, in Twitch chat, there is a poll to vote for one of 3 very popular D&D monsters. Now, who knows what these monsters are actually going to be used for? But the winner will definitely make a little bit of an appearance later on. Any hopes for what that monster might be from you guys?
Grung.
Okay, yeah.
A flump. A flump, yeah.
Maybe
That's what I meant.
Flump.
Flump would be good, yeah. Scott
Yeah.
Meyer, any sort of any monsters you would you wouldn't want it to be?
A beholder?
Oh God, can you imagine?
Don't do that.
A dragon, oh
Any
gosh,
dragon, don't
definitely.
do those.
Oh, that would be terrible, wouldn't it?
No.
Anyway, so moving on, one last thing as well is the Dragon Empire of Ilmera is ruled over by the first dragon, the Dragon Empress, and she is beloved by all. The savior of the mortal races, chosen of the gods, etc. And it's very common in the city that when somebody calls for the Empress, you repeat this cheer for yourselves. So if you hear me say, for the Empress, it would be very...
For the Empress!
You guys have got it, exactly. If you can say that back, let's try that again.
For
the Empress!
For the Empress!
That's exactly it. Wonderful. Good job, everybody. Wonderful. So, with that, are you guys ready to play some Dungeons & Dragons?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, I'll get to my big lore dump now, and I'll switch into narrator mode. Kelscariss, the first and greatest city of the draconic empire of Ilmera. Built on the last stretch of utopian soil, untouched by the raging fires and the divine light of the Brightstorm, which once threatened all of Altheya. The city is a sprawling behemoth of homes and workshops, manors and more. Built with streets large enough for dragons to walk astride, and with grand architecture of white stone and prismatic crystal. From here, the Dragon Empress, the first dragon and savior of the mortal races of Ilmera, rules the empire with her many draconic children, the 10 most powerful of which each rule a province of the empire and command districts within the city. To each draconic noble and their line, knights and citizens swear their fealty and work together to help the empire prosper. In the sky above Ilmera and the city of Kelscariss hangs the crown, a broken, shattered moon that holds the imprisoned force of the god Sovereign, who nearly destroyed the world with the Brightstorm. Beyond this realm, the planar war threatens material realm as immortal beings fight for a victory that may never come. And many other kingdoms, factions, and powers would see the empire fall. But today is a good day, is a special day. Today is the anniversary of the founding of the empire, and as is tradition, a festival of games and music is held in the city of Kelscariss. Colored banners hang across the street, the smell of festival food and good beer fills the air, and people let out cheers of "For the Empress!"
For the Empress!
In celebration of their beloved ruler's many victories and triumphs. The festival culminates in a grand parade through the wide streets before the Empress herself appears for a speech about the Empire's future. Amongst these busy and jubilant streets, perhaps, enjoying the games or food, browsing the market stalls, or selling goods of their own, or attending to other official matters, we find a group of unusual citizens of the Empire. And starting with Rhiannon, I would like you to tell everybody who you are playing, what they look like, and what they might be doing in this grand festival.
Okay, I am playing a rogue centaur called Arachne. So she works for the Clarion News Guild in Kelscariss. She's dressed in kind of like sort of official office wear, so she has like a white shirt, black tie, like a nice little leather bandolier over the top. She has sort of a grey sort of silvery horse-like body, and then like a standard human upper half, but with like horses. And then she has 2 pigtails, 2 arms, 4 horse legs, so her silhouette kind of looks like a spider, which she really likes. And she's going to be scouring the market town looking for some good news scoops, trying to talk to some of the vendors, see what all the hot goss is around Kelscariss.
Okay.
Yeah,
fantastic.
That's what she's up to.
All right. Let's jump over and let's have Katie. Katie, who are you playing? And tell us what they look like and what they might be doing.
Sure. I'm playing Heather Tallbrook, and she is a human. She is dressed in basically regular guard sort of armor for Kelscariss. She is probably trying to just look like she knows what she's doing, because she's only really been in that role for about a week. So she's trying to, she's just patrolling, trying to look like she's got it together.
Perfect. All right. Let's have Maya go.
My name is Chaka, the merchant. And you see before you a copper dragonborn. I look like this. I've got a tunic, a rather big one. It goes so low. I've got these baggy pants that you saw me go on the stage with. And they go so low. As a merchant, also my prices are reasonable in this economy.
Perfect.
You see me wading through the marketplace, just looking from vendor to vendor, looking for things to procure. For as a merchant, I'm one to do these things.
Perfect. Amazing. All right. Scott, tell us about your character, where they are, what they may look like.
Yes, so my name is Taryn, and I am about 6 foot sort of figure in a cloak covering a breastplate, and Taryn has sort of metallic purple hair slicked back into a ponytail.
Wait, sorry.
I don't have it.
What's your name?
Taryn.
Okay, good.
Why? Is the
I
accent?
thought it was Taryn, which is my other character.
Oh, sorry, Tyrion. Okay, I'll take it. But yeah, so sort of adorned in jewellery and sort of moon emblems, and I am also playing a cleric. So I'm
Main
sort
healer
of
and tank.
Yeah.
main healer and tank, diverse.
And what do you think that they might be doing in sort of the city and the festival at the moment?
Sort of just looking around, sort of taking in it as the first time in the city, exploring, seeing the other things, and sort of seeing if I can find anyone else related to my religion, sort of seeing if people are willing to listen and spread the word of my god, Mailer.
Perfect. All right. Let's jump over to Tom.
Welcome, everybody. I trust the treats and festivities have been found to your liking. I am your considerate for the evening, considerate Altheya. That's what I am. I am a bard as a character, and I am here to make sure everything you need is tended to. Whatever you want.
Okay. Lovely.
For the Empress.
For the
Empress.
All right. Only I get to do that. Don't you start doing it. And then finally, Chris Trott.
Hello, everybody. I'm playing Reg, the button. And I'm just a really good little dealer. Honestly, I just wander about. I've got everything on me. I'm just, a wheeler-dealer kind of guy, but my rates are better than his.
How dare you!
I'm just a little undercutter. That's all, mate. That's all. And maybe some of it's already yours. Just nicked it.
That's definitely not going to become a problem later on. But we'll circle back to that. And what kind of class is Reg?
I'm an artificer, which means I've got stuff because I can't really cast spells. So I throw stuff instead and they do the same thing.
Perfect. Well, now that you've met this motley crew of adventurers and citizens and officials, we are going to begin. Those of you who are kind of exploring the city maybe for the first time, or guards on patrol, or looking for juicy pieces of information from the various vendors, you can see that along the main street of the city, along Kelscariss' main highway that leads from the city gates to the central palace called the Path of Ascension, dozens of food vendors and carnival games have been erected in sort of like staging grounds and areas to enjoy the games. And you see a variety of these things. It looks like there seems to be some sort of archery range. There is some sort of bizarre contraption with pipes and a sort of stuffed kobold creature that's dropped in, and then you have to whack the kobold on its way out and guess which pipe it's coming out from. And then there is also a sort of stuffed wooden basilisk that is being attached to chains and ropes by a series of attendants, and people ride it, and then the chains and the ropes get pulled, and they have to kind of like try and stay on the basilisk as long as possible. And anybody who wins these kind of games gets tickets, which they seem to be able to exchange for wonderful prizes as they are advertised. And there are also a number of food vendors as well. There appears to be a delightful bakery with a blonde centaur who is sort of running the stand. There is also a very rough-looking sort of dressed in thick furs and cream-colored sort of wintry wear, very angry-looking fellow who is glaring at anybody who approaches and has a strange-looking chest which emanates frozen mist. And seems to be offering some sort of good. And then finally there is what appears to be a portable tavern called the Wheelbarrow, which is serving up drinks as well for anybody to go. So I think that, Arachne, Heather, and Talon.
Is it literally a wheelbarrow?
There is part of it is constructed to a wheelbarrow, but then it has fold-out sections for like a longer bar, and like it has like portable tables and chairs and things like that. But yeah, it's a very large wheelbarrow. You can see the proprietor seems to be an orc male, very big, sort of like wide, sort of barrel chest, thick mutton chops down the side, covered in what appear to be glowing scars as well. Which is a trait of orcs here in Altheya.
He sounds important. That was a lot of detail.
That was all up here, Tom Hazel. Don't worry about that. Wow. That's just the old DM brain adding things in. But yeah, so is there anything any of you would like to go and sort of begin checking out? Anybody who's sort of exploring this part of the festival?
Reg the button. He's just loitering at the moment. He's near the kobold, definitely Splat the Rat, but with kobolds instead.
Sure.
And he's kind of created some third-party merchandise.
Right.
And he's trying to sell it. So little kobold, like structures, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And he's just peddling it to people that don't win.
Right, okay. Yeah, well, you
A little bit cheaper, you could get one of these, go on.
Yeah, you probably see like a little boy like, he's like trying to hit the kobold, he's trying to guess which pipe it's going to come out of, just completely misses. Like,
Oh, mate, you're so weak. But you could be stronger if you had a kobold of your very own. It looks awful.
The little boy kind of looks at it and he kind of like makes a little face and just says, Dad, can I get one of this man?
Oh, yeah, I push the kid out the way.
Just like, kind of like...
Dad, your poor son. Oh, he just is so awful at that game. He's never going to win. But I could give you the toy. It will make his day.
Right, it is just a game of guessing. I don't think that there's any actual skill involved.
What do you mean?
How much are you selling these things for?
Oh, for you, and because I got a little sweet heart for children that are really upset, 10 gold for this.
Right, okay.
Just
come along, son, come on.
I really have to push. Oh, all right, whatever.
Anybody else, sort of like anything that draws anybody's particular eye?
I think that I would be in the area looking at the people trying the riding basilisk.
Yeah.
Not trying it myself.
Okay.
But watching to see if anybody is going to make it.
Okay. Well, are any of you guys interested in trying to ride the basilisk, the bucking basilisk? Anybody?
I'm working.
Oh, sorry, considerate.
I cannot partake.
Yeah, well, if none of you guys are up for playing it, you probably see a couple of people come up, mixture of different races. You see a couple of dwarves and iron-hide dwarves of Altheya. They actually have sort of growths of metal and crystal that they file down into like different plates and shapes and engravings and things like that. And you get a couple of young dwarves who are kind of like jostling with each other, like, go on, mate, go on, you're going to give it a try. And they're like, I don't know, and okay, and then they get up on it. And after a few kind of shakes, the dwarves just go sailing off, crashing into these straw like barrels and hay bales nearby, and their old mates will have a good laugh of them and things like that. But kind of analyzing it, like, yeah, you kind of see that it's not the most complicated game in the world. It's basically sitting on a big saddle and then having lots of men and women jostle you around for like a couple of minutes. So.
Okay. All right. I am kind of like a walking stall of my own. I'm a fairly large dragonborn, but I have all my merchandise around me.
Okay.
And I see folk and I say, hey, you, that was a rather nice attempt. I can't believe it. Maybe you should come down to Chaka's Emporium. Maybe help you out. I can...
Well, these dwarves kind of seeing you, and you're a dragonborn, right?
Right.
So they look at you and their eyes kind of go wide, and they're like, oh, my lord, I mean, yes, we would be of course. Yes, of course, yes, we will come and check out your goods. What was your name again?
Chaka.
Okay, and they all like nod and seem, oh yeah, this guy's important. We should go and check his stuff out, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I have the best wares anywhere.
And these...
Yeah, sure, mate.
I said, I have the best wares anywhere.
Yeah, we heard you, yeah. What was it?
Chaka,
right. Well, you're in my territory right now. I'm selling kobolds, so I get out something that falls apart in my hand.
I see.
So if you don't mind, it's a bit unprofessional is all I'm saying.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I stride up towards the man.
Okay, well, there's no need to... Well, all right. Ease up.
All right, show me your wares.
Well, I don't want you pilfering my patents, if you see what I mean.
Right.
What have you got?
Oh, just about anything. I don't want to, show off my patents.
Oh, yeah? Well, good.
Good.
Maybe we should...
As you guys are kind of having this confrontation, just because I don't want this to become an actual argument.
I'll show you mine if it yours.
It's like a tennis match.
I was so into that.
I think that, like, consider it Leffe, like, you're working, you're kind of making sure the festival is going exceptionally well and like making sure everyone is having fun. You probably would see these two kind of like, maybe having a sort of tense conversation at this point. And as you're going about your patrols, Heather, as well, you probably notice the same thing. Stood in front of this bucking basilisk game that people are trying to like get to, and they think that Chaka and Reg are kind of in the queue waiting to go on. So they're kind of like, they're taking forever. What's going on? And sort of like a queue's beginning to form behind them.
I'm so sorry. Please let me investigate. What is happening here? What's the complication, please?
This man here is claiming he has better wares than I.
Who?
Who?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Sorry, do you work for someone?
Well, I'm a considerate for the festival. Any problems, and we were standing in the line.
Can you arrest people?
I can direct people to the arrestees, the arresters.
Right.
Heather will hear that
Guards.
and come over and go, yes, that's right. I have that power.
Look, there's no funny business going on here, if that's what you think. We're just two individual merchandisers, marketers.
Oh, wonderful.
Right, we don't want any trouble.
No trouble at all.
Well, in that case, can I please just slide you over here, please? There are people trying to get onto the basilisk.
Oh, wow, it's a queue. Look,
Yes.
it's all for me. Hello, what do you want? I'm talking at the first
I'd like to ride the basilisk, please.
Yeah, well, do you want to ride it or do you want to buy it? And I get out a cobalt.
They just move around, right?
All right, whatever.
Is that some counterfeit merchandise there?
Counterfeit? No, this
that-
is official merch.
It doesn't. It's falling apart.
For the Empress!
For the Emperor!
That had no link whatsoever.
No, it didn't. It really, you just
really
wanted
didn't.
to distract
I just wanted it to happen. Sorry.
He has too much power now. Don't let him have that.
While all this is going on, all the confrontations, in the background, in a shadow, there's like a giant spidery silhouette, and Han's just feverily writing, observing the drama in a notebook, being like, oh, the Clarion's gonna love this. Oh,
Sure.
yes, brilliant.
All right, okay. And what about...
I was going to say, I was like, at this point, I'd have probably just been perusing, maybe grabbing a snack,
Yeah?
and then just sort of like watching the chaos unfold quite casually.
Popcorn.
Yeah, popcorn, like, oh, I want to see how this turns out.
Your fancy?
I don't know.
There's like there seems to be a lovely sort of blonde, sort of very sort of confused-looking centaur woman who's selling like baked goods. There is this very strange-looking fellow from a region called Iceheart, which is like a frozen area to the north. It's ruled by the white dragons, and kind of wears like a little snow goggles, like little tiny wooden mask with like little slits, and then has like thick furs and things. And yeah, it's like scooping something into little sweet biscuits and then handing them out, and it's emanating cold, magic from this little box.
That one.
Yeah, okay.
That one.
Again, the more detail the DM gives it, the more interesting it becomes. But yeah, you kind of make your way over, and you hear like a, yes, can pure frozen fruit help?
Good day. I would like to purchase something to eat, please.
Yes, we have sold out many flavor. Have prickleberry, yam, cauliflower. Prickleberry, very good.
I'll take your word for it. I'll take
Okay,
one.
yeah, good. You can see it definitely is the one he has the most of. Scoops it out, and then he'll kind of put his hand out and just say, two copper pieces.
And I'll
please,
take the pieces and
Thank
give
you.
him those.
A very kind man, thank you so much. And he hands you, it's like a sweet biscuit with mashed fruit frozen into ice cream, basically.
Okay.
And sort of hands that to you, and it's just like, many people being very noisy, strange merchants arguing, and now considerate involved. Bad for business.
Bad for it. Well, I'll go and see what that is. I've got my snack, I'll watch. It's fine, don't worry.
Thank you, sir. Very pleasure, very pleasure.
What does it taste like?
It has like, you taste it for momentarily, and it's really sour. Like it kind of like your face crunkles up, and then this delightful kind of sweetness kind of comes in afterwards. But it's definitely an acquired taste because you have to make it through that first kind of like bite, and then you hit the sweetness a few moments later.
I imagine I will be watching the drama and then like lick it and be like, oh God, and then like forget about it for a while, watch the drama and be like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like,
I kind of imagine like that scene where Homer eats the like really sour sweet, and you've just got this incredibly sucked in like.
yeah, that just every so often I keep forgetting that it's bad.
All right, perfect. So you're kind of being watched. Arachne, as you're kind of watching and scribbling down the notes, you're kind of like feeding in this information. You've never really heard of like probably Reg the Button before, but yeah, you probably would have heard of Chaka the Merchant being a Dragonborn merchant. Like definitely have a bit more sort of influence and sway in the city. So sure. All right. I mean, you are welcome to continue your argument if you wish. But
All right. How long have we got?
I was going to say.
I go to the crowd because I suppose the crowd is long, right?
Yeah, there's this huge. The festival is huge, and there are crowds, and you can hear music in the background. Like this city is enormous, and it is packed full of visitors. All of the citizens have come out. They're bringing their families. It is an incredibly, dense, crowded area. And you guys having an argument has definitely kind of drawn attention and drawn eyes. And yeah, a queue has started to form behind you because people think that you're queuing up for some of the games.
Right. This sir over here has definitely made me puff up a bit. And so I go around the basilisk place and I say, okay, what's this? whoever gets the highest time on the basilisk will have 20% off in Chaka's Emporium. And I just wait for the applause.
Well, I think that's going to be our first roll of the game, because I would love for you to make a persuasion roll.
Okay.
So you're going to roll the d20 and then add the persuasion skill set. And this is going to be to see how much influence you have over the crowd on this.
All right. Not very much.
What were you going to say,
I
sorry?
rolled against it.
I mean, yeah, you tell me what you're going to say in a minute. Let's get the result for Chaka.
I rolled a natural one.
The worst possible roll that we can have. Lovely.
For
the Empress!
For the Empress!
Right, look, you're tiring him out now. You've got to leave it. All right, so yeah, you kind of make this big speech, Chaka. You kind of draw everybody's attention to you, this big sort of large copper dragonborn, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So copper dragon, everyone turns their eyes, and then when you say 20% discount, everyone's like, and then they kind of groan and turn away, expecting that you were actually going to give them something interesting.
I like turn around. I expect a crowd to form, like people to start rushing forward, and then nothing.
But Arachne, there is another voice, it sounds like, was potentially called out, because you wanted to roll against, right? Is that still something you want to do?
If Chaka could influence me to then go on the basilisk.
Right, okay, yeah, well, I mean, if you
Wait,
want to
that
roll a wisdom saving throw for me, and if you roll a natural 1, let's see.
I rolled a natural 20.
A completely pointless natural 20. But yeah, so like, I guess I leave it up to you. Like, does that, if you were being, influenced to go on the basilisk, does the natural 20 have some sort of result that you can think
It's
of?
looped around.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That maybe it's like, no, that guy. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I will. Just
I might take him up on it, Actually, it was such a good speech,
Sure.
Let's go for it.
Sounds like you could have just made that decision, but sure, we'll go for it. Okay, so yeah, you can go up to the vendor who's controlling the basilisk, a very happy sort of like halfling woman who's just like, oh hello my lover, yeah, you want to go on the basilisk? Yeah, it's just it's 2 copper to have a go. If you win, you get a prize ticket, my love.
Oh yeah, I'd love to have a go. Yes, please.
Absolutely right. Here we go, everyone. We've got a lovely new contender. This spider horse lady.
I'm Arachne. Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet. She's not quite sure which leg or hand to shake, but we'll shake.
Anyone will do. Anyone will do.
Anyone will do. Great. She'll shake your hoof and then lead you up. You are a centaur, so this is going to be interesting because it is basically a horse's saddle with a basilisk built around it, like this kind of like big lizard-like beast. So they have a hard time getting you on it. So I'm going to give you disadvantage on any rolls to be on the basilisk.
Oh, no. Incredible.
But yeah, this is basically going to make athletics, acrobatics, or constitution ability checks. And as you get on it, Arachne, the rest of you watch as 4 very exhausted, tired-looking humans and dwarves and orcs are like got these big ropes, and they start just going like shaking it back and forward and like running backward and forward, and the basilisk bucks and turns and tries desperately to throw you off. And the more checks you can succeed, the longer you stay on.
All right. Nice.
All right. So yeah, athletics, acrobatics, or constitution.
I'm gonna go for acrobatics.
All right, let's roll. A disadvantage because this is designed for people with 2 legs, not 4.
9 + 2, 11 for the first one.
11 for the first one is just enough to succeed. So for the first moment, you're managing to hold on, despite your legs kind of flying all over the place and flapping around. You're managing to hold on, so that gives you a bit of time. It's going to be another one, but now the DC is going to be slightly higher. So the number that she needs to roll is going to be slightly higher.
Nice.
So yeah, acrobatics, because that was the first one you picked.
All right, 17 for the first one. 7 for the second one.
7 for the second one. So you hold on for that moment, but then as this gets it, you start feeling dizzier and dizzier, and then one big sort of lurch by all three of the sort of attendants sends you tumbling off and sprawling into the side. And the half-elf say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, my dear. It's not long enough for you to be on the prize, I'm afraid."
Can I just swan up next to Chaka and say, "Oh no, that's about as successful as your sales pitch, mate."
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. I don't know you. I don't like you. However, how about this? You go on.
Oh, hello.
I go on.
Oh.
We'll see who is the best merchant basilisk rider.
How about
Yes.
we sprinkle a little something on top of this?
All right.
If I win, I get something of yours for free, and vice versa.
Vice vessel.
Oh, I have a proposition. Which one of you two wins will get a write-up in the Clarion newspaper for your store.
Are you saying this while still riding a basilisk?
I've just got up and I've just heard you two, and I'm like, oh, yes, a story.
The eye's still kind of like rolling around
Spinning,
around
yeah.
his head,
Yes.
swaying around.
Promotion.
Chaka's name in lights, and I cast light.
Chaka.
All right, I'll take you up on it. Sure.
Okay,
You
All right.
first. Not me. I don't want to go first.
coin flip.
Which you pick, heads or tails?
Tails.
Chaka goes first.
Damn.
Luck is on my side, I think.
Right, so we're going to do the same thing. It's you pick athletics, acrobatics, or constitution, and we'll see how long you can stay on the bucking basilisk.
Okay, Constitution.
And we've got these big, lovely new D20s, like these huge
Yeah.
giant boys.
They're
Brilliant.
huge.
All right, so yeah,
gonna be noisy.
Give us a roll, Chaka. Your choice: athletics, acrobatics, or constitution.
Okay, I'm not very athletic or acrobatic, but I have a high constitution.
Oh, there you go. Hey, Maya.
Oh my God.
Welcome to High Rollers, buddy.
One of us.
I thought this was high rollers.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, it's a bit of a misunderstanding. Only I get to roll high in the show,
okay.
so
I
We named the show really terribly.
yeah, it was a really bad decision.
see. I rolled a natural 1.
There you go.
Well, Chaka, you last maybe 10 seconds before that big sort of belly full of delicious festival food that you've been consuming, you kind of, and then you eventually get thrown off, and just whatever you want is comes spewing out, whether that's your actual breath or whether.
See, this is not so hard. And I basically, like a deflated balloon, just go.
and smash into the side of these hay barrels. The lovely little halfling lady's like, "Oh, are you all right, sir? Are you okay? Sorry, so sorry."
I am fine. Okay, let me see you do better.
Very good. Lovely. I love you. Yeah, I loved all that. That's lovely. Anyway, my turn.
Yeah.
Can I, sleight of hand, stick a dagger in the side so I get a bit of purchase?
I'll tell you what, you absolutely can. Like, you don't have to make a check. Well, actually, make a check to see who can notice you doing so.
All right, here we go.
And then anybody who's watching can make a perception check.
I think I'm cleaning up the vomit.
Yep.
I almost swore.
I'm going to
Be
check
careful.
10.
Slightly acidic.
Right.
Oh, no.
Perception.
Perception. What's
20.
20 for Heather.
Yes.
+3.
19.
19 for Tam.
I got a 16.
16.
Jigs up.
So everybody sees Chaka, except for the people running the actual little Fest Carnival game who do not notice. So you see Reg slide this dagger into the side, dig it into the sort of wooden puppet of the basilisk framed around this.
It's all in the thighs.
Yeah, absolutely. Acrobatics, athletics, or constitution, Reg?
Sure. Acrobatic. Oh, God.
What'd you,
7.
7?
I mean, it's better.
It is better, but even with you're holding it and you're like, this dagger, got it,
Easy
nailed it.
peasy. Watch this.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Whoa! You come sliding off as well. And I think that with that, it wasn't a natural one though, was it?
It wasn't, no.
Okay, so the dagger stays in. It doesn't come flying out and nearly strike somebody in the face. But yeah, there is this very clear, like, doing dagger still stuck in the side as Reg comes.
Someone's trying to kill me. I need
Heather
another
will step
go.
up.
Sorry.
Cheating. We won't have that here.
Yes, someone's
That's
cheating.
right. I can call them out
There's
on
no
that.
cheating. No, please
Yeah.
stop the game. No.
Arrest this man.
Yeah, arrest him. He tried to kill me. He threw a dagger. Did you see it?
I didn't know who. Did someone?
Heather's gonna go up and whisper to you and be like, "Can I arrest someone for cheating on a game? Is that enough to arrest someone? It seems a bit
Apparently,
more."
someone threw a dagger.
They didn't throw the dagger. He stuck it in. He's a cheat.
It would make an excellent story. Arrest him.
Sorry.
It'd be brilliant. Arrest him.
Who are you?
Doesn't matter. You don't know me. I'm in the shadows.
Okay.
Arrest him.
No
Heather
arresting.
Sir,
No arresting.
I've only
please.
been here for about a week. I really need some instruction, please.
No arresting. No arresting. Please, just move along, away from the basilisk games children play here.
I'll take this for evidence, and I grab my dagger.
Sure, absolutely.
Put it away.
Absolutely. You do that.
All the foam is coming out. What's a disaster?
Well, is it a real basilisk?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
As this is kind of winding down as well, like as you guys have, Reg's little incident is sort of being turned, you do begin to hear the sounds of a sort of heated argument kind of taking place nearby. And those of you who are kind of interested, like as this kind of scene has drawn attention, it's sort of turned a lot of the eyes away from something else, which does actually seem to be a little bit more severe, or perhaps like not necessarily dangerous, but you overhear like, if somebody doesn't shut that guy up, I'm going to shut him up myself. And you start to hear like a much more sort of like violent, aggressive kind of tone taking place nearby.
Well,
That seems like something that we should probably do something about, right?
Yes, but these two are at each other's throats.
yeah, we're all
that
good,
one's
right?
Actually gonna...
Okay.
Perfect.
I mean, you embarrassed yourself, and that's good enough for me.
Heather's going to be looking at whatever he writes on his notebook over there as well, to just be like, just to make sure she's doing like all the right things and he's not writing anything up about like her performance on the job,
God girl, doing okay.
And then she's like, oh.
At this point, I probably would have heard the commotion move from the enjoying the drama to like, oh no, I should probably do that, and I'll just like swallow whatever I have left, hold back, like throwing it up, like it's fine, and then move over.
A little bit of brain freeze.
Yep.
And you want to go over to the other kind of like...
Yeah, I wanted to sort of see what that is.
Yeah, anybody who's interested in this, like you guys can jump in as you need to. But you see what appears to be a very threadbare looking old human, kind of like long decked cane wizard beard, kind of like descending down his chin, thinning grey hair up on top, stood on what appears to be like a broken prickleberry box. With a couple of attendants handing out like handmade little parchments, and he seems to be some sort of preacher, like a kind of like, and causing a bit of a disruption. You kind of hear like, "See what the dragon usurpers and the traitor goddesses have driven us to, my brothers and sisters. They turn us against each other to keep us weak, to stop us releasing the light of creation, the true ruler who will provide a utopia and redemption for us. I forgive you, my sister." And he seems to be speaking to a dwarven woman who looks like she's ready to deck and punch this guy, knocking him out. And she's like, I forgive you. I forgive you for your violent ways. That is not what we are here for. Please, please, take a parchment. He's trying to give her one of these handmade parchments, and she's being held back by her wife, who's just like, it's not worth it, dear. Come on, like pulling her back. And she's like, in Mele's name, I'm going to deck him. I'm going to shut this guy up. He's talking nonsense.
Excuse me, sir. Please. Clearly, this woman does not want one of your pamphlets. Please leave her be.
But she is threatening me. I have done nothing wrong. I am merely spreading the word of the great light of the true ruler. There is nothing illegal.
No, just please be respectful and let her on her way.
But she is troubling me. I have no quarrel with her. I forgive her.
And she's like, you need to shut him up. He is ruining the festival for everybody, preaching this madness.
Do you have a permit to be here?
A permit?
Yes.
I do not...
And he looks down.
Yes, actually, I have some in my... Here you go. You can sign this. And it takes a couple of days to respond and all of that. So I'm afraid you might have to just stop right now.
Savare, is this true? And
you see one of the attendants is just like, I will look at the form. And then she sort of reads through it like, no, this is not accurate. We do not need this form here. This is just for festival attendances.
I'm a considerate for the festival, madame, so I think I know what I'm talking about.
She says to you in Draconic, do you speak Draconic?
I do not.
You do not. She says something to you in Draconic. Anybody who understands Draconic would hear it, but I imagine, I don't know if Chaka does.
I am Rabanosi, yes.
Yeah? I mean, anybody who does, she basically says in Draconic, go on. No, okay. I've got like, I'm like hearing other things, so do forgive me. She says, Horvas Kelvir us Zaron Reskdorf, which basically means what is not written is not law. And she's looking over this thing, and she gives it like a scholarly eye. Like she looks like she understands like detailed law, city law. And she's like, no, this form does not, this is only for festival performances. This is not required, this is not city law.
Well, maybe I got the wrong one. Hold on a second.
Yes? Disturbance of the peace.
Talon.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's your job. When this preacher has been speaking about these, make there is a skill called religion to see your knowledge of that. Can you make a religion check for me?
I can. I don't know how good it'll be, but I can do it. 13.
13. The things, the terms that he's speaking about, and the sort of like light and, I mean, he is very clearly talking about Sovereign, who is this creator god that was basically imprisoned for nearly destroying the world, and basically is trapped in this broken moon called the Crown, and all this like the true ruler, the light of creation, like very clearly refers to them. And you have heard that there is a sort of cult almost called the Ardent Pillar. And these guys basically believe that if they bring Sovereign back, Sovereign will sort of redeem everybody and you know, apologize for what they've done. Sorry, I just noticed Reg is drinking one of his potions over there.
Very good.
Thirsty?
A little bit thirsty, a bit parched.
Lovely.
Carry on.
And yeah, they're basically seeking to return Sovereign to the worship, which is probably not the best idea from your understanding of the gods. But yeah, and it's just sort of like, no, I will continue speaking. We must get rid of these false dragons who try and lead us astray. Worship only the light. And
Sir, please, you're just quite loud, and a lot of people are trying to just enjoy the festival. If you could just calm down slightly, lower the volume.
Deck him!
He ignores you, Heather, and just starts speaking even louder, like, I will not be silenced! These false gods, they are trying to silence me!
Deck him! Deck him!
Can I try, from a slight distance, cast command?
Yes?
And I'm just going to basically just be like, silence. Like, don't talk.
The spell, are you casting the spell?
No, I'm not casting, I'm going to cast command, but it's one word, so I'm just going to be like, silence. As
Oh, excellent. Okay, and is that a saving throw? So normally
yes, they must succeed in a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Will a 9 be successful?
No.
So he starts speaking, he's like, I will not be silent! And for a few seconds, he goes completely silent. And then he like starts looking at, you know, what has happened, and he's trying to see who has done this to him. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. It's really appreciated. I think that the rest of the people at the festival will be really pleased that their day isn't going to be sort of disturbed. And hopefully, madam, you can get along your way too.
I'm just gonna have a like.
The dwarven woman sort of like glares for a moment, and her wife is just like, "Come on, dear, let's go and enjoy the festival." And they kind of go off together. How long does command last?
It just says speak a one-word command. Does it say?
One round.
One round.
Oh, so about 6 seconds later, the preacher's like, I will not be silenced. I will preach the true Lord. And he's just like, you step away from me, you enforcer of false laws and falsities. I speak only the truth, brothers and sisters. And like, this guy is just raving at this point.
Okay, so now I can arrest, right?
I think we might have to. Consider it, please. We need more assistance here.
Okay, I'll try and like restrain him and say, sir, please, you're disrupting the festival.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when you go to touch him, like he's just like, get your hands off of me, no, and he's going to try and resist. So would you like to make an athletics check for me?
Hopefully. That is a 16.
16. I roll a 19. He actually kind of like wriggles out of your grip, and
This is the right laugh.
It's the first time I've had to arrest someone. I'm not very good at it. Sorry.
He wriggles his arms free, and you see this kind of change come over him as you've like physically trying to grab him. Suddenly this kind of like peaceful, like, no, I'm but a preacher kind of fades, and there's this look in his eyes where he gets suddenly very, very angry. Can all of you make a perception check for me, please?
Yes.
Can I use my eye for detail?
Oh, yes. Tell me what this is. What is this?
So I can use a bonus action to make a perception check
like
to
the big
spot a hidden
dice.
creature or object, to make an
You don't roll.
or to make an investigation check to uncover or decipher clues.
Sure. Well, we'll just say you use it, and then it'll be a thing. How are you doing over there, Maya?
So I thought this was cursed, so I used this, and I rolled a natural 1.
You are joking. And
I just want to say
That's
that
3 in a row?
those are high rollers dice that Mark gifted to him before the show, and I feel like he's just cursed him for eternity.
Wait, are those your microwave dice? You melted them, didn't you?
Yeah, so I did drain the luck out of it. So as you guys, so let's just quickly get those perception checks from everybody, just real quick.
13.
13,
15.
15,
9.
9.
I use my eye for detail.
Use eye for detail.
24.
24, and then with a lovely natural 1. Those of you who scored over 15 or higher, as Heather, you do manage to like grab him and eventually manage to restrain him and stuff. Those of you who got over a 15, you notice that as Heather's arresting him and pulling him free, you notice 2 things. One is his entire right arm, all the way up to his elbow, is blackened like burnt skin, and there are like his veins are almost like glowing red. And it could be like a magical effect. It could be that, maybe he's a warlock or he's made, something like that. Something which is kind of common in the Empire. But it's very still unusual that he has this blackened skin, like fingertips almost like smoldering, like they're still embers on fire. And then the other thing you notice is a necklace he appears to be wearing. It appears to be a holy symbol of a broken crown, but it's made from a strange metal you've never seen before, like a red and black and gold alloyed metal. And as Heather is kind of pulling him away, you just see this kind of like flapping underneath his robes, and it almost seems to glow for a second. But that's just the last thing we see. As you guys are doing this, Heather, you eventually kind of return to everybody. Just going to leave that dangling there. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Cool. I didn't even perceive that, so yay.
To move things on, as these kind of events, these kind of dramatic arguments and things have taken place, a fanfare of music suddenly and loudly echoes throughout the city. Magically projected to everyone, the music signals for the start of the main parade, and the crowds all begin to cheer. Anybody who's ever been to Disneyland kind of get that kind of vibe going down that street. The main street is quickly cleared, and people line all sides as the parade arrives to go through the city. You can see brightly colored performers dressed in prismatic, multicolored costumes and colors to represent the aura of the Dragon Empress. Along with the performers, though, comes the highlight of the parade, a series of floats themed on the history of the Empire and stories of the Empress's mighty deeds. They are built by different districts of the city or each province, and they go down. You see, there are 3 prominent floats that arrive for a section of the parade. One features a large clockwork creature, like a giant eyeball, with several tendrils coming out of the side of it. Made of clockwork, like gears and cogs
Just
whirring.
a conveyor belt of doom, this, isn't it?
No, I don't know what you mean. It's absolutely fine. You can see that there are attendants kind of like guiding the eyeballs around, and it has like a lamp in the middle which makes it look like it's casting a spooky blue light onto the crowd as it passes. The next float is of another famous beast slain by the Empress once, a chimera, a creature with a lion's head, a goat's head, and the tail of a serpent as it moves past. It appears to be made out of straw and wicker with a large wooden frame and wooden carved heads as it makes its way down. Finally, the last float is particularly impressive, a illusory outline of a golden dragon. Its features twisted with an extra pair of wings, one angelic and bat-like, with demonic spikes jutting out from its shoulders and mouth, giving it an otherworldly appearance. This is a representation of an infamous figure from the Empire's history, Gald Vassar, the traitor, who was responsible for a civil war that nearly engulfed the Empire after they consumed a mystical element called crown steel. And these floats are kind of doing, and the illusion is almost like it's being projected by these 3 orbs in the middle of it. It's kind of projecting this illusory image of the dragon around it as it moves on. And then, as the parade is making its way down through you, in the distance, coming from the central district or further into the city, you begin to hear screams and cries and shouts. Flashes of light, deep purple, blue, green, red, yellow, silver, pulse in the distance, or down alleyways. Light rushes over you in a sudden flash, and when your vision clears, pandemonium has broken loose around you. The crowd stampede in terror as they flee from what appear to be creatures made of light and crystal itself, running to attack them as the guards and soldiers and mercenaries around you rush to engage them, fighting them off so the crowd can escape. But before you can even think about moving yourselves or going to aid them, you see that one of the 3 floats has become animate and lurches towards you to attack. And I'm very pleased to say that we had the winner of our poll from Twitch chat.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Let me guess.
Oh, do you remember that? Do you remember I said at the start?
What did you guys say?
You guys see that gold dragon.
Oh, thank God.
Oh my God. Dragon being projected.
Thanks, guys.
You see it.
Love you.
loom up and breaking free of the float itself. Even though it is made of golden light, the image itself pulls itself free. Each orb in its center slowly disappearing as the illusion fills with fog, almost like a body. And it begins to loom forward, and that is, my friends, gonna be a little something that we like to call initiative.
Okay.
Roll initiative.
I don't like these dice.
I'm a level 3 peasant.
Yes, yes, you are, Christopher.
I'm an attendant.
Oh, okay.
Natural
Peasants
20.
cracking off. Okay.
It's better.
It's a little better.
Are you kidding? Is that another nat 1?
Okay, so starting with Lethe.
Unnatural 20.
20, and then we have Chaka.
So it's twice as good as my last roll.
Oh.
Hey, we're going up.
Yes. Natural 2.
Total, 2?
4.
4. Arachne.
21.
21. Heather.
3.
3. Whoa, somebody did worse than Chaka, though. Hey! Moving it up. Talon.
17.
17 for Talon. And then Reg the Button.
Oh, I got 20-something.
20
20 a lot.
20 lots. I'll put you down for a 22.
22.
There we go. How about that? And then, of course, I need to roll for the dragon.
Was that a nat 20, Mark?
So, imagine you are in a packed city street. The crowds have all fled, giving you room to fight, but there are merchant stands around you, there are columns, pillars, there are buildings, sort of things that if you want to use as terrain features, you can do. But at the very start, before anybody's turn takes place, you watch as the dragon itself almost begins to its rear half with the tail and its back legs, its middle part with its arms and its wings, and then its front with its head almost drift apart, creating like 3 separate parts of it, like the illusion splits into 3. And the dragon's head, it opens its mouth and you can see golden flames beginning to form in its mouth.
Everybody calm down. Don't.
Reg.
Oh, shit.
You are going to be going first, my friend.
I will run away from the head and head towards the butt.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've got
within your rights.
I've got on me an experimental elixir.
Okay.
Can I roll to see what it does and what I made?
You absolutely can, as long as you have those rules and you're not expecting me.
I do. I don't know what I made, so I'm going to roll a d6.
Okay.
Figure it out. 4. That is boldness. I can roll a d4 to add a number rolled to every attack roll.
Oh,
that's not actually not that bad. So I can
very
give that a little swig. I'm like, I can do this. Come on, Reg. You're a button. And he's going to attack with Green Flame Blade, please.
Oh, very good.
Dagger.
So I'll tell you this, Reg. So as you kind of move up to it, are you attacking the sort of like the dragon's like legs and tail and things like that?
I guess I can't reach the butt.
You could reach the butt if you want to try and strike the butt.
I would like to hit the butt.
Okay, you don't need to worry about your attack roll or your damage roll, because as you swipe your sword through the sort of where the dragon's butt would be, it does pass through it like it's mist. And you can see that within like the illusion itself, maybe as you get close enough to sort of strike, there is this orb, this crystal orb that was projecting the illusion as part of the float is hovering inside it. And your blade just kind of passes through completely.
Right. It's not real. It's just a couple of orbs inside.
But it absolutely could be. And you're by the butt.
I'm in the butt, I guess, now.
All right. Anything else on your turn, Reg?
That's about it for me.
All right. Arachne.
Can I try and fire a dart at it?
Which part would you like to fire a dart at?
I'll go for the middle.
Okay, sure. And again, you're just going to target sort of like the dragon itself.
Yeah.
Okay. You throw a dart, the dart passes through, and you actually see it come out the other side, and it kind of like flies out, impacting something beyond.
Not a person or anything.
No. Do you want to make a investigation check for me?
Oh, okay. It's not great. 5 plus 6, 11.
11. I mean, kind of seeing what Reg did, like you saw Reg's sword strike go through, seeing the dart go through, you're absolutely confident that the actual image of the dragon itself is just an illusion. It's just magic. It can't be harmed. It doesn't look real. But you do remember those orbs being in the inside, and they were projecting the illusion to begin with.
Okay.
But yes, unfortunately, your weapon attack does not go. Was there anything else you would like to do?
I could try and do the bonus action. I could try Eye for Detail again, perhaps.
Yeah.
Do a perception check on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
10 plus 12 total.
12. I would say that yes, I will say with a 12, those orbs, and you can't see your one because this illusory sort of like middle part of the dragon is filled with fog to make it look like it's full of this golden swirling mist. So you can't actually see the orb from a distance, but if you get closer, you can see the orb kind of inside it. You would have to step inside the illusion to strike it. But the other thing you will notice is those flames in the dragon's mouth. It has turned its kind of head probably towards, I would say, Heather looks the most sort of like dangerously armed of the group. The head is pointing at Heather, and those flames in its mouth are building up. As the round goes on, it's gaining more and more flame in its head. So that's your full turn, Arachne.
Can I shout to Heather to duck down or move out of the way?
Of course, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so you hear this cry of like, oh, look out. Yeah, what'd you say?
I say, look out, get down, stay away from the flames.
Okay.
I got a really bad initiative, and
Yeah,
I imagine that Heather is just like, I didn't sign up for this.
Lethe.
Guard girl, you need to do something about this at once. Right now.
Okay.
That's a bardic inspiration.
Oh, right. I was going to say, is that your turn just to tell somebody to fight the monster?
You're a bard. That's a bonus action. I'm a bard, yeah.
Okay, sure.
Fix this.
And a bardic inspiration is you give a bonus die, right? What die is it?
An extra D6, I believe, to your next
attack roll or saving throw.
And I've got an action, so.
So with a sword?
Yeah.
Which part would you like to move up to try and...
I think I'm next to guard girl right now, so I'll go for the head.
So you move up to the head, and again, the same thing. You swipe your sword, and the actual dragon's head...
I stab.
Okay, if you want to make a stab, make an attack roll with disadvantage for me, because you can't see inside it, but you never know, you might hit something.
+1. Okay. 7.
Oh, 7. Yeah, you strike in, you're kind of like swirling around, desperately trying to hit. You just wiggle your sword around to no avail, unfortunately.
Nope. That's not for me.
When we have, the dragon didn't roll very well. Talon. So you're kind of seeing this, and you guys can see each other's actions. You can infer from it as you will. You kind of know each other, what each other have done. So what would you like to do?
I'm going to, as I'm sort of running towards Heather, I'm going to basically pull my shield out and kind of get right up to the dragon, in between them. So I'm within 5 feet. And I'm going to grab my necklace with the moon, and I'm going to cast Word of Radiance, which means it needs to do a Constitution saving throw if it can.
That is going to be a total of 6.
Which it fails, so it now takes 1d6 radiant damage. And basically, as I grab it, a sort of purple light just emanates from me. And it's going to take 1 damage.
Okay.
It looks cool.
You run up to the front of the dragon's head and you kind of unleash this spell. And you don't see the illusion of the face of the dragon itself doesn't change, but you hear the faintest crack of glass, from inside.
And then I'm basically just going to ready the shield in front.
You're just going to raise your shield and try and
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, so after that, the dragon, one of its parts is going to activate. And Reg, as you are right by the butt, the tail.
What kind of attack?
Huh?
Sorry, I was expecting a different kind of attack.
Oh, right, okay, no. Let's keep it PG-13.
Okay. Sure.
So does a 14 hit your AC?
I believe it does, yes.
That is going to be 8 points of damage, force damage, because whilst the tail, as you've been trying to strike it, your weapons have passed through. As it swings for Reg, the moment the tail is about to impact, the illusion seems to flare, and you're not hit by a thing, but by magical force. And it kind of slams you, and you get pushed 10 feet away from it. as it
Holy
knocks you
moly.
into a pillar, kind of like, ugh, and you kind of slam back into the pillar, cracking it like behind you as this force kind of throws you into it.
Cool.
Yeah, right, so that was the dragon's turn. We then go to Chaka.
Okay. I look at the illusion and I go, by Galvazar's gilded gut! And I step to the side and I start to I bring my hands out and move them around, almost as if like I'm hitting dials. I make a sigil of my house from the copper dragon, and I cast Firebolt at the illusion.
Okay, and the middle part, the head or the tail, sorry?
The head.
Okay, can you make an attack roll with disadvantage?
With disadvantage? Mm-hmm. Okay. Can I use a dice?
Yeah, go for it. I can't guarantee. My dice rolls are pretty bad normally.
All right.
Oh, 2 at once.
Okay.
11 plus...
Your spell attack bonus.
Okay, 15.
15. So, the firebolt again passes through the head of the dragon itself, but it strikes something in the center of it. Can you roll damage for me?
Roll damage, okay.
And this is the one you hit as well, isn't it, Tam?
1d10. Which one of these has 10 sides? Okay.
That's a 10.
Okay, natural 10.
10 points of damage. You actually hear the bolt of fire swarms through, and Talon and Heather in front of you guys, you see the fire pass through, and then you hear glass shatter. You hear like, and the entire head of the dragon's illusory head vanishes. Just as it looks like it was about to breathe a cone of fire all over Heather and Talon. And then the illusion breaks apart as you see fragments of the glass orb used to cross the illusion scattered on the ground itself, just as it was about to reach its flames.
However, you, sir.
You're welcome.
You.
As its reaction to one of its body parts being broken, it is going to use its reaction. You see its wings raise up into the air, and it sends out these motes of golden fire up into the sky, and they hang there for a moment. And that's what you see.
Ooh.
But very successful attack. Well done, Chaka. Destroyed one part of the illusory dragon. Excellent stuff. Then we go to Heather, last in the round.
Hi.
Hi.
So the last part of the illusion is still up.
There are two parts. There is a tail, and then there is a middle section.
Okay. So
and they even though the head's being destroyed, they seem totally fine to just continue on without a head.
Okay. Am I intelligent enough to have seen that smash and know that there might be something in the other part?
I leave that entirely up to you. You do have an intelligence of 8. I will leave you to roleplay that as you see fit.
She knows nothing. But she will move up to the, I see Katie knows. Heather doesn't know.
Yeah, that's good. That's good roleplay. That's what we like to see.
I'll move up to the middle part, and I will... First of all, I'm going to spend one of my superiority dice.
Ooh.
And I'm going to use one of my maneuvers, which is a maneuvering attack, which will allow me to allow one of my allies to move, away. So I'm going to say to you, go, move. And you get a free action to move out the way.
I get out of town.
Is there anywhere you would like to move to? Like, there are like pieces of cover, like there's like pillars and like columns and merchant stands and things. You can see, by the way, the rest of you, these motes of light are hanging in the air and they're beginning to like sparkle and glow. Like whatever they're gonna do, it hasn't happened yet.
And then I will use my longsword and I will stab into the middle.
All right, give me a roll with disadvantage if you're stabbing into the middle. And Chaka, where do you want to move to, do you think?
So I rolled the dice to see how far I would go, and also I rolled Constitution for something for later. But I rolled a 3, so I'm just going to go maybe 5-10 feet away.
Okay.
And then turn around and go to where?
I don't know, away from the fire of doom that's about to potentially rain down on us, maybe, I don't know.
And you've moved 5 or 10 feet into the middle of an open street. You've like moved away, you're like, oh.
Take cover.
All right, disadvantage attack roll.
Yeah, no, I rolled a 2, so it's probably not gonna hit.
We're all
Strike
dying.
through, stabbing with your longsword, and unfortunately it just misses whatever's inside.
So I'm gonna use my bonus action to use my dagger and try and
Yeah. Two-weapon fighting style.
Okay, disadvantage again, yeah.
Yeah, if you're stabbing in, if you're not looking where you're going. 3 is but I'll tell you this, Katie, you do have Bardic Inspiration, and you've got your modifier. So what's the total on the attack roll?
I rolled a 6 on that d6. Oh. 9, 10, 12.
With your bonus and the 6?
3,
8,
9,
10,
10,
it should be
12.
14.
14. I got it wrong. 14.
Because that's what you needed to hit. That's why I wanted to double check on it.
Yay, thanks!
So kind of the inspiring words from Considerate Lethe, an official of the city.
Fix this.
Yeah, fix it.
Fix
You strike forward. The first blow with your longsword definitely misses, and then you kind of just thrust forward with the dagger. And again, you feel the dagger finally strike something. Roll the damage for me. This is going to have some resistance, because this is a weapon attack against it.
I made up for it. I rolled a 1 plus 3, so 4 damage.
4 damage. I'm going to unfortunately half that because it is you're striking glass. But yeah, you kind of, but you hear and feel something inside the actual illusion itself.
Okay.
All right. At the top of the round.
Do I still have any movement left?
You do, yeah. Would you like to move?
Can I get into some kind of cover? Because she's looking at the guy.
You absolutely can do. However, the claws of the middle part of the dragon will get to make a free swipe at you as you move away from.
Okay, I'll stay. No, I'll go.
Okay.
Because she's scared. She would go.
That's a natural 1.
Yeah!
So you kind of like leap to the side, Dark Souls rolling, tunneling through like some barrels and crates that had been placed nearby. You smash through those in the
Probably in a
dragon's
very clumsy way.
Yeah. In a
Wasn't
sort of
graceful.
More of an accidental kind of like kind of way as you jump to the side. Cool. So the dragon swipes down. We begin a brand new combat round at the top of the round. Those glowing embers, the dragon's wings kind of throw up into the sky. You see them all become like shooting stars, and they cascade downwards all over you. Ooh. Anybody who didn't move into any sort of cover, which I think only Heather has had the opportunity to do so, due to the rounds and the reactions and things like that going on, the rest of you are going to take 10 points of damage.
Reg is down.
Down?
So as these kind of like shooting stars kind of fall from the sky, the rest of you, like, being singed and burned by the radiant light, you see Reg, who had been slapped by the dragon's tail, just like, just on fire, and then just fall over. Oh
my God. For the Empress.
For the Empress!
There we go. I love it. So that is going to be at the top of the round, and it's actually Reg to go first. So then we have a thing called death saving throws, which we roll in D&D when you're unconscious.
Oh, it's 11.
Oh, 11? All right, so you're not getting worse, but you're not, it's one step towards getting
Still
better.
dying, yeah.
But yeah, poor Reg is unfortunately unconscious on the ground. Arachne.
I'm going to use my charge action. I'm going to charge towards the body of the dragon and try and strike for one of those orbs that I can see inside.
Okay. Do you want to charge, because at the moment you guys have been sort of attacking the outside parts. Do you want to charge, because to strike the orb you have to be inside it to be able to attack it without disadvantage.
Charge like just through, and as I'm going through,
absolutely.
2 strikes.
This is a normal attack, no disadvantage, you charge straight in. However, when you do, you're going to take 3 points of radiant damage, because as you're surrounded by this fog, you feel it burning away at you as you're inside the illusion.
Okay.
Are you still alive?
19 to hit for the first one.
19 hits, and I will say that I will give you advantage on this because the glass orb itself is not,
cool.
It doesn't have a way to defend itself, so I'll give you your sneak attack damage.
Oh, okay. Well, I got a 5 on the second one.
Oh, sorry, I meant sneak attack, not advantage. Sorry. That's my fault.
All right. Okay, cool. So 1d4 for the hoof attack. 3 plus 2, and then sneak attack is a d6.
And your hoof attack is bludgeoning damage, right?
It is just a melee.
Yeah, so it would be bludgeoning damage because it's.
Oh, yes, sorry, yep.
And it's 2d6 for your sneak attack.
2d6.
You are level 3.
3, 6 plus 2, 8 damage for that one.
8 points of damage. Because it is a glass orb, it's vulnerable to bludgeoning damage. So as you strike through, your big hoofs, you kind of raise up, and again you feel the glass break and shatter underneath your hoof, and that entire middle section of the dragon bursts away, and it completely fades, leaving just a pair of legs and a long draconic tail hovering over Reg's body, that being the only part of the creature still remaining as it remains. But yeah, and then you kind of emerge, and I think there's how's Arachne looking?
She's not looking great, but I can make another attack. I can make 2 attacks if I use charge.
So you want to keep charging in?
Bam, bam, and then through.
Into the next one?
Oh yeah, let's do a line.
Oh, I mean, okay. Yeah, let's go for it. Normal attack?
Yeah. 12 plus 16.
16 will strike. Are you going inside the illusion of the next one?
Yeah, let's just carry on. Let's
Okay. Right, so roll the damage on this. You can't do sneak attack again, unfortunately, because it's only once per round.
So this is just with my dagger, so it's a d4 plus 2. I rolled a 1, so that's 3 damage for the second one.
Unfortunately, it's half because it's piercing damage, so it's 1 point of damage.
Wow.
And then you take 3 points of radiant damage because you entered the illusion.
And I go down.
My God.
So the rest of you, when you see this, by the way, these illusions are like opaque, right? They're like thick golden fog. So you see Arachne run into the middle section of the dragon. It collapses in a shattering explosion of glass. She continues charging into the rear part of the tail. You hear like a dink, and then a heavy thump, and then that's it. You don't see anything else. So after Arachne, great turn. As a reaction to being destroyed, the tail will raise up, and you see it cast a long line of a shadow over Reg's body. You just see this like long, like 15-foot line shadow over Reg's body.
Please kill me.
Well, we'll find out. Lethe, consider it Lethe.
I'm going to run over to see 2 bodies. I guess one is inside.
You might see just like a hoof like sticking out the side.
I see Reg. Cure wounds on Reg.
Okay, yeah, roll it for me. Are you going to stand next to Reg or behind Reg?
I reach from the distance.
From the side?
I see the tail. I'm not going in there.
Oh, okay, yes.
So that is 1d8 of healing plus 3.
After Lethe, we have Talon.
7 healing.
7 points of healing. Reg, your eyes, they flutter open. You see, stood next to you at a great distance.
My hero! Oh!
And a giant tail, as you see that dragon's butt, like a cat's tail, lifted up.
Watch out, the butt!
Run!
Are you finished? Tom?
What?
Done. Okay. Talon.
Okay, so I am going to run towards the group so I can get like. Can I get it so that they're all, or like that, at least like the 3 that are near the butt are like within 30 feet of me?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to basically go as close as I can, and I'm going to cast Twilight Sanctuary.
Ooh, what does this do?
So as an action, I present my holy symbol, and a sphere of twilight emanates from me. So it's going to kind of look like a galaxy. So it'll be like space and stars and all that. And it's a sphere centered on me. It has a 30-foot radius, and it's filled with dim light. So it moves with me for a minute. But whenever a creature, including myself, ends the turn, I can give them 1d6 plus 3 temporary hit points.
Very good. So, the other thing I would say, because it creates that shadowy dim light, right? So as it passes over the illusion of the dragon itself, that golden fog now becomes a bit more translucent, and you can all now clearly see, now that the light itself has been dimmed, you clearly see the orb on the inside projecting this magic outwards. And then, and you end your turn, so if you'd like.
No, I'm going to bonus action healing word, right?
Oh!
Yay!
What a turn!
What a turn!
I have to make up for it. So then she gets 1d4, that's the wrong dice. Yay! 3 plus 3, 6 HP.
Thank you.
6 HP back. Talent, if you're finished, the dragon, having sensed that you're the source of this shadowy magic, almost seems to become enraged. There's no voice, there's no sound, but the tail aggressively whips towards you, having conjured, especially with your goddess.
I can't read book, but that looks angry.
15 to hit you, Talon.
That misses.
Okay, so you've got like 15. A shield or something? Yeah,
I've got my
so like, you raise your shield and it slams against you, nearly crashing you to the ground, but not enough to strike. Chaka.
I turn to the lady and I say, "Go to where?" And then, still reeling from the basilisk ride, I roll the a saving throw for my constitution.
Yep.
To see if I was to, blurt out more of my draconic breath. But the party will be happy to know I did not get lower than a 10. So they don't get instantly killed because of that. So instead, I tear to the fabric of time with my claw, again writing the sigil, and then cast firebolt on the thing.
On the orb.
Yes.
Well, now it's been revealed thanks to Sound's magic. This is no disadvantage, just a single good roll.
Okay.
Really?
I'd say, would you like to give Maya advantage, everyone?
Please.
Yeah?
I'm
Roll
feeling
again.
inspired.
You're inspired.
Okay. All right. 18.
18 is enough. Roll some damage for me.
Okay. That's
D10.
one. Yes, of course. 8.
8 points of damage.
fire.
With another blast of fire, your hands swirl and kind of feeling this invigoration. Like you are Chaka the merchant, you are one of the greatest merchants of Kelscariss.
Yeah.
You launch the fire, smashes the orb to pieces, and the illusion of the tail, the final piece of the dragon, fades as all 3 illusions are shattered.
Oh.
Congratulations.
It was all Reg.
It was all red. Now, I don't want to rush you, I don't want to ruin your RP, but we are running out of time. So, the energy that seemed to bring the illusion, the parade to life, and the cries and screams around the city fall quiet for a moment. Looking around, you can see that other creatures of light and crystal that had been being fought by the soldiers of the city have been defeated, they've vanished. And there is a moment of silence. Then suddenly great cheers erupt up from the rest of the audience. For the Empress!
For the Empress!
Celebration and victory of the spirits of the city overcoming yet another hardship. And then one voice calls out, "Look, the palace!" And a young girl points to the center of the city. All eyes follow her hand to the tallest point, the palace, a building of magical beauty, as it is enshrouded in a strange yellow and purple haze. A single point of light hovers above it, and then everything becomes deathly silent. The light seems to expand in a flash to a colossal sphere of the same strange purple and yellow light that engulfs it, completely obscuring the palace from view. And then, just as quickly as it appears, it shrinks to nothing, revealing a domed crater where the palace had once been. Shattered, broken sections of the white stone and colorless crystal still hover in place above the collapsed ruins in the crater, like they were frozen in time as the rest crumbled. Before anyone can speak or scream, a blast of wind and force rushes out from the palace at the heart of the city, sweeping through the streets with such force it snaps wooden beams and shatters glass. The very ground shakes with tremors that crack the stone foundations. That floating debris is suddenly launched like missiles into the city itself, crashing down with explosive force as around you buildings begin to collapse and crumble. What do each of you do in this moment? Reg, go.
Pee himself.
Talon.
I'm going to find someone that's like cowering, like put my shield over them.
And like kind of like,
Yeah.
go, okay, Heather.
Grab any small kids around or so and dive into cover.
Arachne.
Ducking into like a doorway with a notebook, just like scrawling as she's
Trying
looking
to take
up.
those final notes.
Yep.
Chaka.
I just throw up with my breath and I fly into an alleyway.
Okay, so we go through the breath of like flame launches you. Consider it Lethe.
I am standing in the middle of the street. I'm trying to guide everyone else to safety behind alleyways, things
don't
like
panic
that.
like this way.
Everybody this way, please, down with the ship.
All right. I would like all of you to make dexterity saving throws to determine your fate along with the city.
No. Oh, I rolled on my own dice and I got a nat 20.
Where's my dex?
let's start with Katie.
I rolled a nat 20, but I accidentally just grabbed my own dice, so it's not on the big one. Sorry.
It's fine.
Oh, I was meant to use the big one. I used the small one I got.
That's fine.
Non-nat 20.
Non-natural 20, natural 20, non-natural 20.
12.
12. Ooh, mate, no.
22.
22. Chaka.
Are you kidding?
It wasn't, it's 6.
18.
18. Okay. Heather. Talon. Considerate Lethe. What did you get again, Arachne?
22.
22. And Arachne. All 4 of you managed to dive for cover, or Considerate Lethe, you don't dive for, you guide enough people to cover, but you yourself are exposed. Chaka, you managed to defend like a group of people with your shield. Heather, you grab some kids and dive into cover underneath an alleyway. But Reg and Chaka and Lethe, you are either maybe thrown against a building, kind of slammed, your back kind of like you hear bones snapping as you are smashing through glass into an inside of a building. Lethe, you just look up and you have these final moments knowing you did your duty as a giant piece of stone just slams into you. The alleyway that Chaka you flew into collapses in on itself, burying you in rubble.
Oh, mate.
Oh, wow.
The Dragon Empress was assassinated that day. Her remains were the only thing to survive the blast that destroyed the palace, and no amount of divine magic could restore her to life. No culprit could be found, no faction came forward to claim responsibility, and even the deities, the gods and goddesses of Altheya, could not answer who orchestrated this devastating attack. There are many stories, many rumors and conspiracies, of course, but as of yet, no proof has ever come to light. The Dragon Empire was lost in mourning for years after the Empress's death, but eventually the eyes of her children, the 10 archdragons, turn to the throne of the Empire. Tensions rise across the Empire. Cults of dead gods gain power. Factions play against one another in the shadows for control, and ancient evil stirs deep beneath the land. But there are also opportunities that exist. Gold flows as power shifts, and across the Empire there are those in need. Champions are called for, spies are summoned, scholars seek answers, mercenaries desire pay, and of course, adventurers can follow their destiny. Welcome to Ilmera. And that's it. We're out of time. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you. Thank you very much. If you would like to see what happens several years after the events you witnessed here today, make sure to come and follow us on High Rollers DND on Twitch, Twitter, podcast. We're pretty much everywhere. We don't normally dress up like bizarre cultists, I promise. We're going to be finishing our current epic campaign, which is a space fantasy called Aerois, over the next couple of months. So if you want to jump in and see a high-level D&D equivalent of the Avengers and Final Fantasy, flying out to the edge of space in their anime battleship to punch God in the face, you can come and watch that live every Sunday, 5 p.m. BST, 6 p.m. CEST, or 9 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/HighRollersDND. But before we go, a huge thank you to our special guests, Maya and S. Major. Thank you very much. Maya, where can people find you for more role-playing and gaming?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Meyer. I do a bunch of like roleplay stuff and things like that. But if you want to see me playing D&D, you can find me on twitch.tv/TableStory, where
awesome.
I do dress up like a bizarre cultist. So there's that.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing show as well, TableStory. Go and check it out. Scott, where can people find you?
At twitch.tv/SMajor, and also SMajor1985 on Twitter and other socials, where I just do content.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us, both of you. Can we get some love for 4/5 of the High Rollers players? We've got Rhiannon and Tom, Trot and Katie. Can we have a big round of applause and some thank you for those guys? Thank you very much. And a big round of applause for our lovely audience here in Amsterdam. You guys are amazing, and everyone in chat as well. Thank you so much. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. I've been Mark Humes, your Dungeon Master for this evening. Thank you very much. Hopefully we will see you all in our chat on Sundays for more D&D. Until then, have a wonderful TwitchCon, everybody. We love you. Goodbye. For the Empire! Let's go.